Welcome. Um, Thank you for coming. I'm so glad that you're here. We have a lot. I have a lot that I'd like to do today. Namely, I'm going to be chatting with Katherine Cook. And if you have, please, if you have some questions, if you had an opportunity to watch the video, it was part 2 of 3. There will be a third part to wrap it up. Please, if you think of some questions as Katherine and I chat here in a few minutes, please feel free to ask. Okay, so let's see who we've got here. I've also have a couple of channels that I want to share with you guys that I've been watching recently. One I've watched for a while, and another one I've recently connected with and I really enjoy. And I'll tell you what I like about their channels. All right, so let's start off with Katherine. And if my lighting isn't good, please tell me. I don't think it's right. See, we've moved me around again. And there's light coming in. And so I think it's going to be a problem, and I just need to put something up there because we took the blinds down. It's crazy, but we took the blinds. But I wanted my fireplace for the holiday season, okay? I did. I wanted my fireplace. So that's why my son moved my desk and my stuff, and things are just not looking right to me, okay? So just let me know. All right, so Katherine, thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. I need you today. Campgoer 1, how are you, Linda? Thank you for coming. And James Cantonese, wow, welcome. So glad you're here. My little sister Priscilla, glad you're here. Glad you had a few minutes. I know you were at a soccer game today for a grandson. That's my one and only troublemaker back there. And so thank you for reminding him of the thumbs up, James. Tim, CR View, thank you for showing up. I'm so glad you're here. Tim is working on monetization. I believe I'm going to ask you a couple things about that to see where you're at and what you need. Kaylee, thank you so much. I don't know why I'm feeling anxious tonight, but I'm feeling a little anxiety. I don't normally feel anxiety when I sit down here and start this. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, if you remember the thumbs up, if you have anybody you could share this out to, would be greatly appreciated. And that would be awesome. Wonderful stuff. All right. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Okay. Richard, did you want to come and say hi?
I said hi, everybody.
Oh, he's saying hi from the kitchen. All right. All righty. So let's start off with, so tell me, I think the majority of the people in here are at least part-time nomad. I've got a few full-time. I've got people with experience. And before we go further, if you are a channel and you would like Kaylee to drop your link, please put a big C in, and she'll work on dropping the links. Would you please, Kaylee? I would appreciate that very much. Okay. So, did a wonderful interview with Katherine. But see, with Katherine and I, when we start talking, I forget it's an interview. And it went on a long time. That's why I've had to break it down into 3. But the amount of information and the depth of information that came out of, especially this last chunk, I am amazed. I'm amazed that Katherine did not get, and Homer did not get scared out of nomad life. I think that many of us, including myself, I rationally know there's a cost involved. There are potential issues that happen. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Great. Glad to hear that, Tim. So I was shocked to hear the some of the issues that have happened, and that when someone is broke down on the side of the road for going on a week or about a week and isn't really sure what's going to happen, I can tell you something. I'm too much of a control freak for that not to affect me. When things feel out of control, I have a natural instinct to try to pull them back within my reins or within a rational, reasonable amount of time. So that is something that I noticed Katherine and Homer are really good about staying calm, cool, and collected. All right, so I'm going to drop a link for Katherine, and we'll just chat up here and see if there's anything that, any questions or comments or thoughts that any of you had that might have seen that. And we'll just go over, we'll just see what Katherine has to say, because, you know, she's the one living this. She is the one living this, her and Homer. Homer, if he's available, I'd love talking to Homer too. And it is, I know that Katherine has a tremendous amount of faith, that Katherine and Homer are people that have a lot of faith. And here's another thing. Walking out on that limb when you go to live full time. I know, Tim, your family is full time. And I think that is amazing. I know that Richard and I would like to be at minimum, eventually, part-time. I don't know. I will have to be out there longer than 8 weeks to figure out if I would want to be full-time. I always want to have, again, here comes the control thing. I always want to have a place to come to in times of crisis, emergency. If there is a medical problem, there is another couple. I wish I could think of their names. He ended up with a heart issue and had to go off of the road, and they were full time. And someone, I believe, had to come and help them get back home. Back home being, I think, east of the Mississippi, and maybe northeast, and get back home, and had to have some stuff done. So, that's just a fact of life. When you're on the road, things can happen. And Katherine and Homer's story is a perfect example of that. Okay, Katherine, are you ready? Okay. And hi, Katherine.
Outside today.
Yeah, it looks nice there.
Behind me, this is the view I see out my door.
Wow. Beautiful. That is a beautiful view.
Yep, I get to see blue skies and clouds that go by, and if we have thunder and lightning, I get to watch the thunder and lightning show.
I can imagine. Oh, thunder and lightning show. I like thunder and lightning, as a matter of fact. Now, the people that haven't been on my live stream before, I'm looking at my camera straight ahead, but the computer monitor is off to my left. And so I will keep looking over here. Otherwise, I feel like I'm not I'm actually talking to Katherine if I'm looking straight at her there. But anyways, it's just weird for me. Okay.
You notice we have matching hair now?
What'd you say, sweetheart?
You notice I have matching hair like you. It's not the same color, but I'm just as short as you are.
Yes, you are. It looks
hair.
good.
It's all gone.
Looks very good. I could be biased, okay, but I think it looks great personally. So Camp Gourd 1, just curious where you're at.
I'm outside of Snowflake, about 20 miles from a Walmart. So we don't have a toad, but we have access to tow truck and farming trucks that we can go to town with.
So you're able to get to town, I guess that. And how far are you from town?
About 20 miles, I think.
I just made a mistake there. About 20 miles, you said?
Yes. If you're looking
So,
at the map where Taylor and Snowflake is, and then it goes up to, oh, what is it? There's another town above that. So where 77 is, we're to the right of that. So
I'm
we're
gonna
outside of town.
I'm gonna pull up an Arizona map. Maybe if I could spell Arizona correctly. For those who might not have got to listen, do you want to just do a recap, maybe of a couple of the things that have happened? Like, so let's, while I'm pulling this map up, the what happened the last time with Nationwide is on your side. Is it Nationwide?
Yes.
Yep. You want to tell them about that event while I get this map up.
Okay. So when we broke down, we knew we had towing on our insurance that we had. We have that and covering our.
Oh darn. Oh darn.
So I mean, I spent 5 hours on the phone. They said they'd call me the next day. They call me the next day. They ask, "You still need roadside assistance?" Every time they talk to you, are you safe? And it's like, yes, but no. Anyway, we would every day we would ask for roadside assistance, and they couldn't find a tow truck to come get us. In the meantime, we had people always stopping to make sure we were okay, that we had water. Um, I mean, we had our whole house with us. I mean, we had water. Well, we had some water, but one guy stopped and gave us a case of water, so we had that. And every day we called to get, try to get a tow truck up to the higher place to have them check our RV to see what's going on and praying it's a simple fix. No, no fix, simple fix.
So I have the map here, and Snowflake is right here. It's so, just for clarity, kind of like for a visual of this, at least that's how I am. I always need some visual. Phoenix is down here, and Snowflake is clear up here. So that's where she's at. Havasu City. I think this would be somewhere down around.
Walmart's right there on 77. So.
Okay, so you have everything that you need, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else we can go down to Solo for. We have propane up here. There's only one place in Solo that's cheaper. I don't know what the right now, but we have to have on our RV now since we take it to get propane to put into the.
It cut out a little bit there, Catherine. I think she's frozen. So you want to. So the engine. There's a problem with the engine. Can you hear me yet, Catherine? So last summer, as luck would have it, a head gasket blew. It got fixed, and that's, I believe, what is wrong again. But it's whatever's wrong, actually. No, let me backtrack. I believe whatever's wrong can't be fixed, and they need a new engine. And new engines are not cheap, especially my assumption would be in an RV. So, Catherine, okay, I'm going to drop. I was hoping it would write itself, but it's not. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to drop you down Okay, come back in just as soon as you can. And then I'll let Katherine explain what's wrong. But I do know that it's something about they need a different engine, and I believe they're going to stay put for the winter. And that's what would have me on pins and needles, because then there's this sense of needing to rely on other people, and that is that would be a big giant challenge. She and Homer are a lot better equipped mentally, I think, than am I. Definitely. Okay, I'm just looking to see if she's back down. If she's back down in the basement. All right, so what does everybody ask? Yeah, it's a class. No, they're in a class A. They're in a class A, Linda. What does everybody? So has anybody else here had a breakdown on the road? Like you are out there, maybe full time or part, especially if you've been full time, and your rig breaks down, and you have what? What do you do? What did you do? Those are questions I have, because there's a lot on the line when a person goes full time. And the more that I get to see this and that I didn't understand at an emotional level, watch, like when I realized Katherine and Homer were broke down on the side of the road. Well, they were near this town where there was an airport, and they were on the road that went into the airport. They were able to get off there. So my question is, have you ever had a breakdown on the road, and how did you handle it? Oh, yeah, of course, Arizona. All right, so I'm looking at my phone. There we go. There's Tim. So, yep, hotel for 30 days in Denver the last time. Oh, wow. So that can't be cheap. That just cannot be a cheap endeavor. That would be so, but here's what I either heard this from Camper Van Kevin or I heard it from Bob Wells. If you're out in just, let's say, an SUV or a vehicle, maybe doing this tent camping or literally just camping, living out of your vehicle, that you want to have about $3,000 to $5,000 put away. And that's after you have good tires and you've had it going through of your vehicle. So you know that for the best of your ability, things are good. And if you are going to be full time, to change, if you're just starting out and you don't know the vehicle, maybe even to change out as many things as you can, including being up to date on oil changes. Even I know that, and I am not a mechanic. So $3,000 to $5,000 if you're in a vehicle or you are in an SUV. $5,000 to $10,000 if you're in a Class C, which is what we have, and we have an old Class C, and $15,000 to $20,000 minimum if you have a Class A. I'm curious, does that seem like reasonable? We've done regular camping in our life. Okay, so we have experience with just regular camping around our state, blah blah blah. But this is our first endeavor really with an RV of any sort. We had a camper for a period of time on the back of Richard's. He had a little Toyota truck at the time. A little Toyota truck. He bought a camper from his mom that he put on the back of that truck, and we were going to camp in that. I had to drive my Toyota Camry Corolla. I had a Corolla at the time, Toyota Corolla, but it was brand new, brand spanking new. And come on back, Katherine, as soon as you can. And we were on the Coast Highway. Oregon Coast Highway. It's a very dippy and very, coast highways are like that. And steep grades at times. And I had, hello, Nate Dog. Hi, Traveling Nate Dog. Thank you for stopping in. Glad you're here. So I had Brent. He was just a baby at the time, literally under a toddler. He was not a walker. and still in diapers. And I was following Richard, and we pulled over because Brent loaded up his diaper, if you know what I mean. That was not fun. And so I pulled over, and Richard, we changed his diaper, got into the camper, changed his diaper, not Richard's diaper, Brent's diaper, and changed his diaper, and we were kind of at a deep incline, which I'm highly against inclines, and then sleeping in it. I just didn't like it. We went one time. I did not like the idea that I could, what if there was a fire? I was scared to death. So we sold it. Okay, Catherine, I see your back. I see the sky. Uh-oh. The minute I said I see your back, she left. No. So they don't have a tow vehicle. Now, they did have a tow vehicle one time, but they do not have a tow vehicle now. I had to replace oil pump, $5,000, and it took them 30 days. Okay. See, I think you guys you probably are responsible people, and we're prepared. So that's part of the thing. That's what I was saying about either Kevin or Bob. I heard from them to have that kind of preparedness. However, there's lots of people, and we know this. There's lots of people who end up on the road for many, many different reasons, and they didn't necessarily plan it. Maybe they took control, like utilities, rent were too high, and they got a van and off they went. But that was more of a, I know I've watched many channels. That's the situation. And that's a little different. They didn't really plan to go, but they had to go. Hey, Catherine, are you ready?
Yeah.
I see you now.
Thank you. For some reason, it's buffing here, so I don't know what's going on.
Well,
just keep trying to come back.
I know. I'm so sorry you struggle with it there. I do want to say I like your shirt, by the way. I like peach. Okay, so Camp Goer 1, Linda wanted to know what is wrong with your RV? What's going on with that, with your Class C or Class A?
We blew the head gasket again.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We did this last summer.
And you need a new engine, correct? And don't you need a new engine?
He has an engine here, but not sure if we're going to pull it out and see what's going on. And hopefully we don't have a cracked engine or anything. So right now we're just going to stay in strike for the winter.
Okay. Wow, this is just really strange. And so you're staying there for the winter. You've got all your needs met. Mm-hmm. So is there something that, everybody has things happen. I mean, I know everybody has things happen at some point, even brand new RVs. I've seen many brand new RVs or very new RVs that have serious problems. Here, CR View says that they had to replace their oil pump. They have a Class A also, $5,000. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous. If I had to replace my oil pump and it was $5,000, I would be in trouble. That's just a fact of the matter. So how do you be prepared enough to have what you need, when you need it? I know that one of the ways you were talking about being prepared is, in one instance, so let's go back to the tire blowout. Was that when you needed the? It was a, the tow that was $1,000.
Yes,
Okay, well, I have a question about
and that
that.
was
I know
only
that you
7 miles back for 1,000.
7 miles and it was $1,000.
Yeah, because you have to bring in the big tow truck. Luckily for Sam, he has a type of a tow truck that he can haul us because he also hauls single wide mobile homes with his tow truck. But nobody
Wow.
could seem to find us a tow truck to get us to the tire place just to check out to see what was going on with it.
Wow, that's very, very frustrating. Just as a person, I mean, 7 miles. I don't care if they had to bring in a big thing, big hauler. 7 miles is still just 7 miles. I mean, really, but that's the way it is. I need to say hello to somebody who just came on my stream. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. This is a grandnephew, my grandnephew. His channel is It's Me, Aiden. I made my name shorter so easier. That's cute, Aiden. All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, Kaylee, that would have killed me too. CR View was talking about how there's, that pump cost $5,000, and that would be a big issue for many people. And I was saying, we all know there's many a person who is on the road with very, very limited income. I think I talked to Laurie about that and joined Nationwide. Kaylee, you think like a lawyer. So, your experience. So, the other part of this was that you've had good experience with people, just regular people being willing to help you, and even if it was just when you were on the road when you were on the side of the road this time, that you had people just coming and offering to give you water or whatever you needed, right?
Just to make sure we were okay. I mean, they could have just kept driving by like, if you're on I-5, nobody's going to stop and help you unless it's, state patrol, but everybody was stopping just to make sure we were okay.
And you're right. To get someone to stop on I-5 would be a very difficult endeavor, really. Yeah, a cop might eventually, but it would be hard. And so here's Linda. I had my transmission on a van go out in New Mexico, and the tow truck driver wanted to charge me $750 less than 50 miles. Well, there you go. I mean, they only went 7 miles, Linda, and they got charged 1,000. I wonder, where did that happen at? That was in Arizona, correct?
Yes, that was on 95 on our way up to Parker to meet up with S&S and RV Tech. And like I said, it was April Fool's Day, and they lost a tire, and we lost 2 tires that day.
Yes. So for those of you who do not know what she's talking about, Catherine, do you feel like sharing that little story one more time?
Okay, so we had just finished the end of the caravan with Randy, the mobile traveler, and that Bob had set up that year. So everybody was taking off to different places, and we were heading to Blue Waters Casino to get meet up with S&S and RV Cats, which is Sharon and Sal. They went ahead of us because they're a fifth wheel. They go a little slower. We just left after getting the brakes done on the Class C at that time we had a 1977 American Clipper. Um, Cherokee had done the passenger side. Homer had done the driver's side. He didn't tighten up all the lug nuts, and so as we're driving down the road, the lug nuts are coming off. The stems that were on it were coming off, but first lug nuts were coming off. Tire dropped in the middle of the road. we're going down the street. All of a sudden, I see a tire going on the other side of the street, going down the street and cross in front of us. So, and in the meantime, Homer has got his hands on the wheel to get the RV over to the side of the road, to get us off of the road. And we are like inches from that far right white line. And when State Patrol got the call that we had lost their tires, they were figuring we had flipped and there's going to be somebody dead there. And if it had flipped, it would have flipped on the passenger side, which means I would have been killed instantly. So did not dying that day. So we had angels with us watching over us.
How terrified were you when it, really was explained what would have happened if you didn't have someone who could handle that RV, by the way? Thank God Homer is an experienced RVer because he was able to get you into where you needed to be safely.
Yes.
Did you talk? Go ahead.
Afterwards, you talk about it, especially when you're standing there and the cops, I'm hearing the cops say this to Homer, and I'm thinking, okay, but it's just like, right over your head. And later on, when you get towed back to Pomosa Road, then it sets in that, crap, this could have been my last day on Earth. Yeah. But thank God I'm still here. So it wasn't, as my dad says, when your name and your number comes up, you go.
Well, that's true. And by the way, it can happen, and I understand this very well. It can happen anytime, any place. And so, yes, one of the people I follow, Steve Wallace from Canada, he's got over 1 million subscribers. He went to bed one night, him and his wife went to bed, and when he woke up, she was not alive. Yeah. And and they're not older people. I mean, I would say 50s, maybe early 50s, but it wasn't like this was a sickly woman either. And so, yes, it can happen anytime, any place. Snowflake, Lucretia, did she say, did that happen near Snowflake, Catherine?
This, with the tires coming off, no, that was on 95, I-95 heading to Parker.
Okay, so I know where that's at even. Well, I'm sure Linda knows. I know Linda knows where that's at. So 95 heading to Parker. All right. So my grandnephew said was very glad that you were alive, that it worked out okay. Thank you. Glad that you're alive. Aiden is a very sweet boy. Young man. He's a young man. He's 21, I believe. Aiden, 20, 18. My memory's bad, Aiden. I'm old. I'm
He's
old now.
Adult. He's an adult. That's all you need to know.
Okay, so Linda's asking, is that where she's at, Snowflake? Yes.
Snowflake is where I'm at right now.
Yep. Is it Snowflake? Yes.
That's the name of the town.
Okay. Yes, I know, because I have my niece and nephew and their respective partners were there at one time a couple of years ago. And Linda's saying, did she say the head gasket was replaced before? Yes, the head gasket went out last summer, a year ago. They replaced it.
In fact, it was October 1st to October 8th when they were taking it out. And it was 30 degrees during the day, and because our engine is half inside here with the doghouse, it's 30 degrees inside. So Coco and I pretty much just stayed in bed under the covers and stayed warm.
I mean, because you got the doghouse open, and so lots of air is coming through. I can imagine. I mean, I have that door shut and cuddled up with Coco.
And I sent you the picture so you know, between the two seats, that area of the doghouse is wide open. So we
Yes,
also had a mouse in the house that Coco caught too.
there is my big problem. Mice. I would have, I'm just saying, you want to talk a hotel bill? I'm terrified of mice. It's just the way it is. Sorry if it's
Yeah,
stupid, but I'm terrified of mice. No, Linda, it wasn't a company that did it. It was Homer and
we had a mobile guy that fixed it.
a mobile mechanic. So was there any
Yes.
liability on the mobile mechanic?
No. No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, we don't know until we get in there. Mechanic that's here on the property said, asked Homer if he cleaned out the oil before putting new oil and everything in it. And the answer is no, we didn't do that. We did put, I don't remember, I don't think you have to empty out the oil to do the head gasket or not. I'm not sure, but that didn't cleaned out. And this mechanic said it's possible all that gunk that was in the bottom of the oil rose back up, um, and the thermometer in the engine got too hot, and it just blew everything all over again,
Oh, wow.
head gaskets and all that. So we don't know until we tear the engine apart. Um,
So Camp Goer One, who's up in the Phoenix area, Linda, she said a friend, Lewis, is a big rig mechanic, and she's asking, I could ask him if it's a job he could do. Could they get a tow?
yeah, Sam could tow us to the shop, but at this point, we're not sure if we're going to keep the RV. We have been
Okay.
offered a single wide mobile home, so this may be our home base for a while,
Uh huh.
and maybe find a trailer and a truck. Right now, Homer's got his eye on a Dakota Ford truck here that Sam has on the property that needs some fixing, that we'd be able to have a vehicle to be able to stay here. So the single wide mobile home is a two-bedroom with a laundry hookup and two full bathrooms in it at both ends of the mobile home. It looked like it was in an RV park that somebody used during the summer. So it's in good condition. I mean, we don't have to rip out the carpet or anything, because of wear and tear. We'll probably have to shampoo the carpet and that, but I've walked in it and it's fairly cleaned. It will need a stove and a refrigerator, and that's about all that we would have to add to it. Sam's already got a propane tank for us, um, and a septic tank to put underground for us for where he's going to put it.
Wow. And Sam is not a serial killer.
No,
Hey,
no.
you,
In fact, for him to tell us he was going to charge us $150, that's his price.
uh,
He didn't even charge us. He just brought us home, and when I talked to his wife Stephanie, I said, "What do you think when Sam said he's bringing home this RV with a couple in it?" She said, "Just something Sam does. Brings it home to like bringing home stray cats. He's bringing stray people home, and Homer, he doesn't sit still. For
no,
74 years old, he works more than the guys that he has hired to work for him. Homer does circles around these guys that are here. Sam says, I can't believe Homer gets done more stuff than the guys that I have here. And they have, in other words, they have no work ethic, from our generation to their
sure.
generation.
Yes. I know several men from our generation, Catherine, and a few from the younger generation, and there is a different work ethic from what I can
Yeah.
tell. In many cases, not all, because
Yeah.
I've got some nephews that work their butts off, and nieces, and so but a younger, I just, especially, so one time about 10 years ago, Richard went to do some piecework for this man. And it was rainy April day. I will not forget that. It was rainy and it was April. So it's still very chilly here in the Pacific Northwest. And what it was
Yeah.
doing was moving big rocks that he had to move. Or I think it was rocks. It was either rocks or big chunks of wood. I think it was rocks. It was very heavy work. So there were supposed to be three of them. Richard showed up and another guy showed up. Day two, guess who's the only shower upper?
Richard.
And, Richard was over 50 years old. So, yes, it
Hmm.
definitely, and what he got out of that was he got about 5 years worth of, fairly consistent off and on work for this man, because he had a warehouse and he had other things. And these young men just could not see, they just couldn't see that it could have got them something potentially more than that, those couple days of really hard work. So
Yeah.
here's Linda again. Tell her if they get a used truck in the future, get a compression check before they buy it. This will test all the gaskets and look into getting an extended warranty. I have a dream, an American dream. So a compression check, good idea. I know about
Okay.
compression
Okay.
checks. Um, and Linda said her car is 110,000 miles. I don't. So I've had a couple of brand new cars in my life, Linda. I don't think um, other cars besides that. I would have loved to had something down in the hundred, under 200,000. I've had old, but either Richard or my father before Richard, and then Richard always took care of vehicles. Um,
Hmm.
So Linda's saying that her car has 110,000 miles and she has an extended warranty for $117 a month. Um, and I'm glad they finally got through to somebody, those extended warranty people, because I did not need an extended warranty. But they do come in handy when you need them. Okay, so is there any advice? Is there any other questions anyone has for Katherine? I know she has probably been talked to death over this in, between the interview and I don't, yeah, okay, I hear you. I don't have a hubby, but I have a friend. Luis, hey, a friend comes in handy too, if he's a good friend and he comes in handy, good. I'm just not a mechanic. I'm screwed. I have to, I will have to pay for it. And I just so pray to God I don't have breakdowns. All right. So, anything else you want to let the group know about your experience on the road? What makes you want to stay on the road? I guess that's an important question because you guys have been through the ringer. So, what makes you want to stay continuing to be on the road? I realize you're looking at this as an option for now, but I do know that you would be traveling today if not for this. So why?
It's the people that I meet, the tribe that I have been a part of. It, for us, it's just not one tribe. We have, I want to say, 5 different tribes that we run with. Um, the tribes aren't big. It may be just 1 or 2 of us. It may be 5 of us. Uh, we just have people that are pulling that, want us to be there, but you can't be at all places at all times. It's mainly just the people I meet, the meetups that we do, and the places that you see. Uh, Going to tombstones, seeing historical places that happen. Whenever we're driving, I'm always thinking, what were people doing 100 years ago, 200 years ago? how were they traveling, where they were taking days and months to get from one side of the United States to the other side, to the west. Um, am I seeing what they're seeing, especially when you know the soror cactus? Those arms take 100 years to grow. Was it there 100 years ago when somebody was coming through on a wagon train? Um, were they there when they were coming across on a train, when train tracks were finally put out? It's just being able to go see this beautiful world that the good Lord has given us to live on.
That's about a perfect answer as I could ever ask for. I agree. That's why I want to be able to travel. Is there's so many places that I want to see. I and oddly enough, I really do like Arizona. Um, it wasn't super hot when we were there because we were there from November or January to March, and so we were not. I got some color, and my little sister thought I needed to go to the hospital. I mean, because I'm so fair skinned, but I didn't get a burn,
Yeah,
not a burn like what we get here in Oregon. Like what I've had bad burns, like
that's the same
as red.
problem I have being from the Pacific Northwest. You
Yes,
burn. We're fair skinned. We burn. Down here, we tan.
yes, it's different. It's different, sun for gosh sakes. Linda also says it's nicer to have a small group. Yes, I would agree
Yes,
that is. And horse and buggy like Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. Yes, yes, very much
yes.
like Dr. Quinn. There are so many prettier places that Quartzsite. And yes, Linda. So Linda and I have had this conversation about Quartzsite and that there's beautiful, really beautiful places. I know, obviously, I've seen many pictures. I did not get to go to those other beautiful places like Snowflake. I would love to go live in Snowflake for a winter season. Where Camper Van Kevin is at, up in that area of Concho. Concho's not too far from Snowflake, is it, Catherine?
No, we're about an hour. Concho's is an hour down from us if you're
Okay.
looking at a map. So Snowflake's here, Concho's down here. So it's, I want to say 49 miles to its place, but it takes an hour. And I don't need your input from the outdoors. I have somebody behind me giving me. Nobody asked for your opinion. Thank you.
Hi,
Yeah, but
Homer.
we're an hour from Kevin, Eric, uh, 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 Tiny Full House has just got property. We will
I
be
know.
going there to dump more of their trees. They've been cut down, lollipopping. So we will be
Yeah.
going this week with the farmer's truck to help them to take that to the dump. Um, uh, Solo is more. You go down 77, and when you get to the end, you're at 60. And so if you go left, you go to Kevin and Eric and all them. If you go right, you go to Solo. And Solo's just, down the street, and you're in a bigger town.
So I'm she's talking here, Sedona. Of course, I know a young man. Well, again, he's young to me, but he's probably 40, who lives in
Yeah.
Sedona, and uh, it is. I see his
Sedona is
pictures.
lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
but
It's
isn't it very
Japan.
expensive as well?
Is it what?
I think Sedona is also a fairly expensive area. I could be
If
wrong,
you're
but I believe
doing
it.
RV parks there, but there's BLM land outside on the other side of 17 that you can camp for free for 14 days.
Right, right. Oh, and she's Prescott, and I know it's called.
Yep.
They pronounce it Prescott instead of Prescott. See, I can't pronounce it Prescott, but I understand it's pronounced Prescott. Um,
Yeah.
so my little sister says, but how is your pigment? How is your pigment in your skin any different between here and Arizona? It's not that my pigment is different. It's that the sun is different. It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Wintertime is much different. Summertime, I have to stay out because I will burn, and it doesn't take long. You could be out for half an hour, and with me, it's when the sun goes down, then my sunburn comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I was there and it was still high 70s, low 80s some days, and um,
Yep.
I was fine. I did not, but she really was like way concerned about my skin, and my freckles really came out during that time. So it was weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got a couple of other things I'm going to cover before we hang up the phone here. I always say hang up.
Okay.
I'm never going to get rid of that phrase in my terminology. So thank you, Catherine. And we'll have one more part. Um, I think it's shorter, a little bit shorter than I think the one yesterday was about 23 minutes. It will be shorter this time. What's left, and then we'll do this one more time, if you like, if you will. And we do appreciate all the information, and I really have learned a lot. My eyes were widely opened when you were telling me these things recently, and then we did
Hmm.
the interview, the original long interview, because I'm like,
Yes.
what? I mean, boom, boom, refrigerator, something else, tires,
Step, step,
steps.
tires. The AC went out. It's just sometimes it's little things, but when your engine goes out, that's the big thing. You can't handle that. But refrigerator, when we left and we went down there, we had Ronnie to help us there at Randy's. The spot that came over, figured out. Oh, the handle on our door broke, so we had to use pliers to open up. If we had a fire in here, there's no way we could get out in a hurry. Uh, Ronnie figured out a way to put a hook on it so we can get in and out now. But the step you can get stools at Harbor Freight or at any RV place that you can step out. Oh, what else? Um, but mainly it's just sometimes it's little things, but when it's engine, um, we may come back to camp out in Quartzsite, but it may be in a van, it may be in a trailer, so we have a tow. But we'll see, what happens down the road. Um,
Uh,
but
however you do it, I'm sure you'll do it comfortably as you possibly can. And, you know, I think people would love to see you. Obviously, people love you guys.
well, where we're at also, we've been told by Sam and Stephanie that our friends are welcome to come camp with us. So even though we may be in a mobile home, we'll have a spot for anybody that wants to come and see us. SNS will be leaving New York soon when their job is done there. Dana and Steve are going to Oklahoma and Texas to see family for Christmas, so they'll be
Mhm.
down in Quartzsite in January. So they'll probably come by and stay with us. So um, our friends are welcome to come camp with us here on the property.
That's another real quick question, and I'm going to cover this because I know my little sister is on here, and her and I have talked about, traveling, and you have 5 kids, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so, and I'm
Five,
assuming
but
you've got.
I have son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, and I have a friend that daughter adopted us. So technically, we have about 10 altogether.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, but that's a lot of kids. No matter if they adopted you or you adopted them or
So
whatever, but it's
technically, I had five. I have
okay.
five, three girls, two boys.
So, and I'm assuming you've got some grandchildren.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you, my little sister she has 2 grandkids, wonderful grandsons, play soccer. in junior high now. One of them's in junior high, one is in grade school still, but very attached to her grandkids. How do you handle being away from them for holidays or for events? Because these kids grow up and, I mean, how does that, um, you know, being, and this, I mean, it's a legitimate question, is being on the road, people give up, if they've got a family, they give up time with their core family. How do you feel being, having this kind of disconnect physically anyways from the rest of your family?
I have older ones that are adults, so I text them. I do call them. I have younger ones that are under 5 that we do video chats with. So my daughter will, because she's in Georgia, she's 3 hours ahead of us. When they have dinner, they get a video chat with us, and it's 3 o'clock our time here in Arizona. So I'm having maybe my lunch or snack with my grandkids on a video chat. So they know who grandma is and that.
I have no doubt about it. I know people do it and are able, and you also have gone back home at times. I mean, gone back to Washington.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I also know there's people who do this part time. Maybe, so my own personal thought has been like from, you know, maybe January until Memorial Day, because we have a very, well, it's changing. Things have changed in our family since our father died. So our mother and father are both gone, and 2 sisters. So we have a ritual that we've always done for Memorial Day as a family. I mean, a van, like a caravan. You want to talk a caravan? A caravan of people going from one side of Lane County in a horseshoe to the other side almost, to go to about 5 cemeteries and put flowers on graves. And also, it's how I learned about our ancestry. We come from people who came here on wagon trains. I've been at the top of what is now a one of the places we go is it's a private property, but we have ancestors buried up there from the 1800s. It's the top of a Christmas tree farm, and I'm talking high up Christmas tree farm where they're on the very top. And so we, when my father died, and then we had COVID and things happened, and so it's not been the same at all. And so it will probably continue to change to a degree. But my little sister and I have always, enjoyed it and done this together. And so I would really want to always, to the best of my ability, be here for that. And then our father, his birthday would be the 4th of July. It's not he's gone now, but it's just things that as we grow older, things are changing. And by the way, as I'm growing older, there's things that I would like to do that might be away from Eugene, Oregon, and people that I love. And it doesn't mean I love them any less, or that I would, because I missed being home. Towards the end of the last week, I really wanted to come home. And, but that was our first time away for a lengthier period of time. And so, I learned from people like you. I know, and my little sister and I, and my other sister, I have 2 other sisters as well, can talk whenever we want to, but she and I are the closest. Well, she might be close to our oldest sister right now, but anyways, I'm just saying there's ways to communicate with your family besides necessarily being there 12 months out of the year.
Yep.
And as far as the pigment of my skin, Priscilla says, but if you don't have the pigment like our pink undertones, I have the same pigment you do, Priscilla, and I tanned. You saw it. I have tan. All right, Catherine. Well, thank you so much for coming. I will see you. I will talk to you shortly, because we do have there's another part of this we want to cover. And it's the health stuff that goes along with being an older traveler. I particularly have some medical stuff. Richard, is very healthy. He does have with his lungs. He has, other than our back stuff, Richard is very healthy except for his lungs. Once he quits smoking completely, it will be much better. But as you all know, he went to the hospital, blah, 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 found out things. So, but I have I take the most medicine by far. I have the most problems. And so I have to, he gets to be on Medicare, by the way, in February. And so when we talk about all this stuff to do with the medical, one of the things I want to cover is health insurance, because there is portable Medicare. My insurance, the insurance that we have right now is Medicaid, and it is not portable unless it's really a life and death emergency. So anything outside of the state of Oregon, we have to cover ourselves. I have to have, so anyways, we'll talk about that on the medical piece of this. And if anybody has any kind of input for that, send me an email. I would love to know what that is, how you handle it. I'm going to put my email address down here, just in case you want to send me an email and you have some input for how you handle your own medical stuff on the road. Because, I really do. I got medical crap and I've got to take care of it. So, all right, Katherine, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I really hope you and Homer are, for the time being, happy where you're going to be staying, and that it's comfortable and you get back on the road in one way or another eventually, because we will be, and we want to be, camp out with you. Although we could come there and camp out too.
Yep.
All right, honey.
See you down the road, everyone.
Love you. All right. So let's see what else we've got going on here. I know right here, Tim said, I think the altitude has something to do with it. Has something to do with, oh, I get it. I think I know what you mean. That might be, Tim, because I'm very, very, very fair. And my little sister even has much redder hair than I have. Much redder hair than I have. And yeah, we have only burned in our life. All right. Let's see. Just had another precancerous spot removed. She had a precancerous, she's had a couple of precancerous spots, and I just had to check, and I don't have any, thank God. And that's not for not trying, because I could tell you I had some massively bad burns, sadly, ridiculous. 2 as an adult. All right. All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock. What I'll do is I will save the rest of what I have, because it's just covering some other channels. I will do that on Thursday, and we'll talk about them. And I hope you will come back. It will probably be the same time on Thursday. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Much love to you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to find your passion. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And I mean that.